Hey everyone, my name is David Shmula, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to remain CAN spam compliant in the United States when sending cold emails. This is super important and also extremely easy to do. Remaining compliant is fundamental for doing this in the long term. And if compliance and ethics and things like that are important to you, then you will find this video helpful. If you don't know me, my name is David Shmuel. I'm the founder of Outbound Partners. We're a lead generation, sales automation, and claim implementation company. We do a lot of stuff within this world, and high volume cold email is one of the main forms of lead generation that we do. So naturally, we are always seeking to remain compliant. And this video is going to show you exactly how to do so in a really straightforward manner. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I have a little sheet pulled up here and boom. Okay, so cold email compliance. Let's just take it from the top. I don't think I need to explain why compliance is important, but for the sake of adding some fear, uncertainty, and doubt, if you do not remain compliant, you are putting yourself at risk of being sued, and all the good deeds and good efforts that you work towards will basically go to waste. In general, cold email compliance is very straightforward. And I always say this, that it's actually very simple to remain compliant. As long as you're a legitimate sender and, sending ethically, there's really nothing to worry about. Now, there's a couple minor nuances, and I'll show you what those are, but you don't have anything to worry about. What CAN spam is really trying to do is to find the bad actors, the ones who are selling you fake goods or fake services or trying to connive you into scams and things like that. That's really what CAN spam is looking to attack. They're not trying to attack regular users. All right. But we'll jump into that. So who monitors and enforces CAN spam? It's the Federal Trade Commission. All right. And thankfully, because GDPR is not the same, thankfully, the FTC has given us really clear guidelines. What is CAN spam? So CAN spam is Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing Act of 2003. It's a U.S. law that sets rules for commercial email, gives recipients the right to opt out, and establishes penalties for violations. Obviously, clearly by the name of this, it covers some other things as well. But specifically, what we're concerned about, obviously, is just the commercial email aspect of it. And one thing that is really important to understand is that CAN spam actually applies to all commercial emails. So a lot of times people think that CAN spam is just applicable to high volume senders, but anyone who is sending a commercial email, and I'll define that in a moment, is subject to CAN spam rules. So just about every email that leaves your mailbox is a commercial email if you're conducting business. So technically, every email needs to comply with CAN spam. So by law, all commercial emails are subject to CAN spam, not just high volume. A commercial email is defined as any electronic mail message that the primary purpose of which is the commercial advertisement or promotion of a commercial product or service, which any solicitation email, any advertisement email, anytime you're promoting or trying to market something, it's a commercial email. So here are the rules, and I'm not going to read every one of these. I will share this document with whoever would like it, and you can obviously take a deeper read over it, but I'm just going to highlight a few things. I'll read the sections. So don't use false or misleading header information. Emails are code. Okay, we see it as just an email, but it's essentially a piece of code. And you can manipulate the code of the email to mislead people. So don't manipulate it to try to trick people. Don't manipulate it to pretend like you are a representative of a national bank and then try to solicit information from someone. So again, this isn't really applicable to anyone who's a nice, normal person doing ethical things and just trying to promote a product. So not really concerned unless if you're a bad actor. Don't use deceptive subject lines. So deceptive subject lines is a little ambiguous, but what they're really looking for is you want a free cruise, or your contract is in breach, or your loan is in default, things like that, really triggering and truly deceptive subject lines. A line like quick question or something a little ambiguous is not the problem, and it's not what the FTC is looking for. They're looking for bad actors. They're looking for malicious people who are trying to take advantage of other people. Identify the message as an ad. The law gives a lot of leeway on how to do this, but you must disclose clearly and conspicuously that your message is an advertisement. So again, this is a little ambiguous, but if you are clearly saying, hey, reaching out because I saw you do X, Y, Z, we can help you do X, Y, Z too by selling you ABC, would that be something you're interested in? That is a clear advertisement. That is clearly identifying the message as an ad. So again, just not misleading people. If you don't mislead people, you have nothing to worry about. Just a standard email offer is all you need to do to comply with this. Tell recipients where you're located. This is one of the more common ones that I think most people don't know about, but super easy to comply with. It's actually required that every email has an address in the signature, so the recipient knows where you're physically located. Now, are they actively enforcing this? No, not really. Is it a big deal if you get caught? They probably wouldn't hold your feet to the fire as long as you're a legitimate sender selling ethical products and services. But this is one of the stated requirements. Again, they're really, I can't stress it enough. They're not looking for regular senders. They're looking for bad actors. But to comply, simply put where you're located. Tell recipients how to opt out of receiving future marketing emails from you. So this could be in the form of a button, click here to opt out. This could be in the form of a sentence that says, if you don't want to receive messages from me anymore, just let me know. And that is considered clear opt-out instructions. So again, really easy to comply with. Remember that subscribers and members can opt out of marketing emails too. So what this is saying that if you have a member, let's say you run a gym and you have members of your gym, just because they're a member doesn't mean that you can indefinitely berate them with emails. So all they're saying is that whether they're a subscriber, a member, or some other paid participant, that they still have the right to opt out. Everyone has the right to opt out of your messages. All right, this next one, honor opt-out requests promptly. Any opt-out mechanism you offer must be able to process opt-out requests for at least 30 days after you send your message. So what that means is that when you send a message, and let's say you have a little unsubscribe link, that link must be active for at least 30 days. Okay, you can't have that link active for 5 minutes and then be like, oh, I gave them the option, they didn't get to it in time, and therefore they're still enrolled in my marketing sequences. They must be able to opt out. So from the time you send the message, they have a 30-day period, and whatever you give them, whatever mechanism that you provide them so that they can opt out of your communications needs to work properly for 30 days, which is very fair. And then from that period, you must honor a recipient's opt-out request within 10 business days. So once they specifically opt out, you have 10 business days to actually remove them from your list. Okay, and then obviously you can't charge a fee or ask them a million questions and really make it difficult. That has to be like a 1, 2, 3 situation. And the last thing is to monitor what other people are doing on your behalf, because you're ultimately responsible for people who are selling underneath your umbrella. So if you have agencies that are sending emails on your behalf, or contractors that are sending emails on your behalf, or if you have employees that are sending emails on your behalf, you need to make sure that they are complying to, because ultimately you are responsible. And that is it. So that is all you need to do to remain CAN-SPAM compliant. As you can see, it's really simple. And not only is it simple, it's super reasonable. It's just being respectful, being ethical, not trying to trick anyone, and things like that. So as long as you're an ethical, fair, reasonable person and a fair, reasonable sender, you have nothing to worry about. CAN-SPAM is put in place to find the bad actors, not to find good people who are trying to sell their products and services. And that's about everything. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop me a comment and I'll be sure to reply. You can also send me an email, which I'll have in the description. And if there's anything that you need our help with, of course, don't hesitate to reach out. There's links in the description for how to reach us. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video.